Hello students, today we are doing lesson 1.5 from the English Kumar Bharati textbook for standard 9. The necklace. This story is adapted from the French story written by Guy de Maupassant. So come along then, let's read and enjoy it. This is part 2 of the story. For a complete lesson, do watch part 1 and 2. You'll get the link in the description box below. This video was made just for you. Do remember to like, share and subscribe. Let's continue with the lesson. They looked in the folds of her dress, in the folds of her cloak, in her pockets, everywhere. But they could not find it. Now they tried to find out where the necklace could have fallen. So first they thought that it has fallen in her dress itself and maybe stuck up somewhere in the folds of the dress or the folds of the cloak. Now cloak is a garment worn over other clothes. It has no sleeves and it is fastened or tightened at the neck. So they tried to look everywhere in her clothes but they could not find it. So the husband asked, "Are you sure you still had it on when you left the hall?" So he wanted to make it sure. So now that it is not there in the dress also, so he's asking her to be sure whether does she remember that it was still on in the that she had it in the hall. Yes, I touched it in the hall at the ministry. So she's saying, yes, I know it for sure because I touched it in the hall at the ministry. So he's saying, no, it has not fallen there because I had it on at that time. But if you had lost it in the street, we would have heard it fall. It must be in the cab. So now they are trying to find out where it could have fallen. First, they thought that they checked the dress, so it was not there. Then the husband tried to ask her whether she remembers it being in the hall. So, yes, she remembered it. So now they're trying to find out where it could have fallen. So, if it had fallen on the street, that is on the road, they could have heard it falling. No? But so they thought that it must have been left in the cab. Yes, that's probably it. Did you take his number? So here the wife is saying that yes, it must have, maybe it has fallen in the cab. Okay, and she's asking him, do you have his number? So did you take his number? So the husband says no. Now they stared at each other, stunned. So they were shocked. Now, how to find that cab driver? No, they don't have the number, they don't have anything. How to find the cab driver? And so they were sure that it has fallen in the cab. At last, Lucille put his clothes on again. I'm going back, he said. So he said, I'm going back now. Over the whole route we walked. So the whole route means the whole way that we had just come back. So I will try to walk back and see if I can find it. So he's saying, let me just go back and retrace my steps, go back the whole way and look for it. Maybe if it has fallen on the street, I'll find it. That's what we normally do. No, if we can't find something, we try to think where it could have fallen, and you try to go back or search the things where you must have kept it. So this is the normal thing to do. So now, since it was not there in the dress, so it was not there anywhere else, so they thought that let's see if it has fallen on the street, I'll find it. He left. She remained in her ball dress all night, her mind blank. So once he left, she could not change her clothes at all because she was all blank. She was worried. She did not know what to think. Okay, so ball dress is the party dress. Ball means a party. So she remained in the dress. She couldn't even have the courage to change it, because all the time she was just thinking about the diamond necklace. Now, if it is lost, what will happen? Her husband returned at about 7 o'clock. Remember, they had returned at 4 o'clock in the morning. So now he returned back to the house after searching all the way and he came back by 7 o'clock. So he has traveled quite a distance, and come back. He had found nothing. So he did not find the necklace. So sad, isn't it? Now he went to the police, to the newspapers to offer a reward. So he not only went to the police, but he also went to the newspaper office to offer a reward. Because if you have lost something, you put a small article or a small advertisement saying that whoever has found it, I will give them some prize for it, a reward for it. And he also went to the cab companies, that is the taxi companies. So, whichever taxi companies are there, he went over there also in the hope that maybe, somebody will return it. So, everywhere, the tiniest glimmer of hope led him. So he was thinking where I could go. He was hoping. He was tiniest glimmer means a little faint, wavering light of hope. Somewhere, maybe here, maybe there, where. So he's trying to think. So he went to the police. He went to the newspaper office. He went to all the cab companies, and wherever he could think, he walked. You remember he walked it all the way back. She waited all day in despair at this frightful disaster. So, the whole day she was just thinking of it. Despair means to be very stressed, okay, and very frightful disaster. It was a big disaster, it was a big problem that they were facing. And it was a frightful one because now she'll have to repay the necklace. The necklace doesn't belong to her, it's somebody else's necklace. Louiselle returned in the evening, a hollow, pale figure. He had found nothing. So again he went all the places and again he came back in the evening. He was hollow. Hollow means there was nothing. You couldn't think of anything. He was feeling empty. What else could he do? Okay, a pale figure. Again, pale is when you lose all the energy, all the color from your face. Okay, and he had found nothing. Still he went to the police, he went to the newspaper, he went to all the cab companies, he went here, there, everywhere, but he did not find anything. You must write to your friend, he said. So now, what else they could do? So he said that you must write a letter to your friend or a note to your friend and tell her you have broken the clasp. Now, clasp is a small little, hook or a small little metal piece that is used to tighten the necklace or something. So that's a clasp. Clasp could be anything. It could be a necklace or it could be any purse or any other thing where you put it to fasten something else. So he said that tell her, write to your friend that you have broken the clasp of her necklace and that you are having it mended. Mended means repaired. So you have given it to repair, and once it comes back from the repair, you will return it back. And it will take us time to look some more. So why was he telling her this idea? Because he said that this will give us some time to look for it. Maybe we can think about something, or maybe we could go back and think about where we could have lost it, and it will give us some time to find it. Because now if we tell our friend that it is lost, she may get very very annoyed and agitated, and something, so she may get angry and all that. So now they wanted some time to think over. So she said, just write a note to your friend saying that the clasp is lost and we have given it for mending, and once it comes back we will return it. So that's the idea he gave her. And so she wrote as he had dictated. So he dictated, he told her what to write. So in the same manner she wrote that note and she sent it to her friend. At the end of 1 week, they had lost all hope, and Louiselle, who suddenly looked aged, declared, we must consider how to replace the jewel. So, even after one whole week of searching, finding, hoping, they did not get anything, and now they had lost hope. Means they were, did not have any other thing where they could find it, and so the he was also Loisel who looked very aged. So he declared that we must think about how to replace it, how to find another replacement for it, a similar one to the one that was lost. And so they went from jeweler to jeweler looking for a necklace like the other one, consulting their memories, both sick with grief and anguish. Now, so they started going from one jeweler to another to find the exact replacement because they did not want the friend to know that it was lost. So they were trying to get the exact one so that they can just return it. Okay, and so they started going to one jeweler another and thinking about the design, how. So consulting their memories means from their memory, so thinking of how the necklace exactly looked like. and both were sick with grief. Sick means they were feeling very, very bad about it, and they were very sad and in anguish. Anguish means again sadness. They were full of sadness, misery, as they were going from one jeweler to the other to find a exact replacement for that lost necklace. In a shop at the Palais Royal, they found a string of diamonds which seemed to be exactly what they were looking for. So, at one of the shops, okay, they found a string of diamonds. String means it is a row of diamonds. So, they found it exactly what they were looking for, the same one, okay, which they had lost. It was worth 40,000 francs, and they could have it for 36,000. Now that worth of it was 40,000. Imagine, they didn't have 400, somehow they had collected that 400 francs for the dress, and now this necklace was costing 40,000 francs. They could have it. The jeweler had said that from 40,000 they could pay only 36,000, but 36,000 also was a big amount. So they begged the jeweler not to sell it for 3 days. So he's saying, please, please, they told the jeweler, please do not sell it for 3 days. Somehow we will manage and arrange for the money, and we are going to buy it. And they made an arrangement that he would take it back for 34,000 francs if the other necklace was found before the end of February. So remember, this party was in Jan, okay, and it has Jan 18. 1 week had already passed by, and now they were finding for that replacement, and now they got it. So now what they told the jeweler is, if we are not able, if we find, by February, if we find the real necklace, the one which we have lost, then you'll have to take this one back which we have bought for 34,000. Okay, so it was, the jeweler was selling it for 36, and so they made a deal with the jeweler that if they get the original one, so they will return this for 34,000 francs. Loisel had 18,000 francs which his father had left him. He would borrow the rest. So the husband had 18,000 with him, which his father had given it to him. Okay, left him means maybe his father was no more, and so before dying, his father had left the money to him. That is, he had got 18,000 francs which he had saved, and he thought that the rest of it, remember, it is for 36,000 francs and he has 18,000 now. So, the rest he would borrow the money. And he did borrow. He gave notes, made ruinous agreements, dealt with every type of money lender. So, ruinous means leading to a heavy loss. So, wherever he could, arrange some money, maybe giving more, paying more interest, maybe getting something, selling something. So, he made and went to the money lenders to get the money somehow, and, he had to do all these things. Then he went to get the new necklace and laid down on the jeweler's counter 36,000 francs. So he gave all the money, 18,000 he had, and the balance he borrowed the money from the money lenders at greater, at great interest rates and all that. So money lenders are not ready to give the money without any interest. So he had to, beg and borrow and, ask for them, and he had to do all kinds of, agreements to get the money. When Madame Loisel took the necklace back, Madame Fristet said coldly, "You should have returned it sooner. I might have needed it." So now it had been such a long time, isn't it, that she had not returned it. So when she went to return it, her friend was very annoyed that, you should have returned it earlier, isn't it? Once you use it, you have to return the things. So that is what is expected. So she was annoyed because she said, I might have needed it. No, what if I wanted it? She did not know anything about it. She didn't even, maybe not even looked at it, no, that it was a replacement. From then on, Madame Loisel knew the horrible life of the very poor. So from then on, she had to live in poverty because they had to return the money that they had borrowed from the money lender, isn't it? So she had to, save money. She couldn't spend it on anything other than what is necessary for her life. But she played her part heroically. Heroically means with great courage she did it. Remember, she always wanted great things, great life, great things to wear. But now she couldn't do anything because they had to save money to return it to the moneylender. The dreadful debt must be paid. So, dreadful means the horrible, the fearful. Debt is the money that you owe somebody. Okay, so the money that you have to return to someone, that it becomes your debt. So, that money has to be paid. So, till then, she cannot spend on anything else. She would pay it. So, she decided that somehow I will save it and I will pay it. They dismissed their maid. Maid means the servant. The maid servant, they dismissed. They told her to go because now they couldn't pay the maid. And they changed their lodgings. Lodgings are rooms that are rented out. So wherever they were staying now, they went to a smaller room. So they rented a garret under the roof. So garret is a very small, uncomfortable room at the top of the house. So they wherever were living, that also they gave it away and they rented. Okay, so they didn't couldn't afford to buy. So they rented. Rented means to live and pay rent to somebody, to a house owner. So they took a very small and uncomfortable house, which is called a garret, under a roof. She came to know the drudgery of housework. Now, drudgery means hard and dull work. Now, she remember that they had to, send the maid away, so she had to do all the housework all herself. The odious labor of the kitchen, that is the unpleasant. No, how hard the housework is. It is never ending. You have to slog from morning to night, and if you don't have any help, then it becomes really, really tedious and tiring, and then you get so tired that it seems unpleasant. She washed the dishes, the dirty linen. Linen means it's a cloth, so clothes. So she washed the dirty linen. She carried the garbage down to the street every morning and carried up the water. So maybe they did not have a water connection at home, so she had to carry the water, from the maybe from down or something from some tap, and stopping at each landing to catch her breath. So remember that she was not used to doing all this housework, which because she had a maid. So now that she had to carry the water, so remember that they were living in a garret, and a garret is the topmost floor, or a room on the top of near the roof of the house. So she had to carry the water all the way up, and at every landing means at every floor, she had to stop and catch her breath. Catch her breath means, she was to get breathless, because when you're doing some work, hard laborious work, so you get tired, and so your breathing becomes heavy. And she was dressed like a commoner, so now she did not even have the basic clothes that she was used to. So she was to dress just like any other common person. She had to bargain at markets. Bargain means to, when you go to the market and all that, you tell the shopkeeper or the seller to make the price less. So he says no, and then you argue with the price. So that is called the bargaining. So when you argue with the price, it is called bargain. And she quarreled and she faced insult. Quarreled means to argue with other people also. And when you argue, you get insulted. So she had to face insults over every miserable so. Now, so is a French coin of low value used in the past. Okay, so now it is not there, but in the past it was, maybe a smallest of all coins. So even for a small denomination, she had to argue and beg and fight. Okay, and she had to go through all this misery. Each month, they had to pay some loans, renew others, and get more time. So, whenever they could save some money, they would each month at the end of the month, they would, pay off some loan, because they had taken loan from various money lenders. Remember? So, some loan they had to repay. Now, which they could not repay. Remember, they had borrowed a large sum of money. So, all the money they can't repay, month after month. So, which they could not repay, they would renew again. Renew means to take more time for it. Okay, so you have to pay interest, of course, and get more time, okay, to repay it. Her husband worked extra. Now even her husband had to work extra because they had to repay the loan. every evening doing accounts for a tradesman. So whenever he gets some time or something for any tradesman is a business person, he would do the accounts. So of that person, that is the expenses and the income of any person is called accounts. And often late into the night he sat copying a manuscript at 5 sols a page. So in those days there were no printing press, so they used to copy anything that had to be written, so it was handwritten. So any manuscript means any written material, okay, that has to be copied once again. So there were not printing presses, there were no copiers or xerox machines at that time. So he had to write everything, and for a few sows. So now remember, sows are the smallest of denomination of the French currency. So for 5 sows a page he had to work late at night copying some manuscript. And this life lasted 10 years. So this is the way they had to go through life for 10 years. And at the end of 10 years they had repaid off everything, even the interest. So they had paid all the loan along with the money they had borrowed and the interest that they had to pay. So it took them 10 long years to go through life and go through all the miseries in life. Madame Loisel looked old now. So remember, 10 years she did not look after herself at all. So now, after 10 years, she really looked very, very old. Often she brooded over the past. Brooded means to think sadly, to think about what had actually happened. So, what would have happened if she had not lost the necklace? So, she started thinking, what if I had not lost the necklace? My life would have been so different, isn't it? I would have returned the necklace and I would have lived a happy life. How strange life is, how fickle. So she was thinking, so strange life is, that I had to lose that necklace which I had borrowed. And how fickle means life changes in a spur of a moment. At one moment she was so happy and enjoying the party, and the very next moment, in a few hours, she was so sad, and the whole life of hers turned. So the life that she was living, a peaceful life with her husband, now turned into misery. So that is what she would think. Often she would sit and think, how little is needed for one to be ruined or saved. Ruined means to be destroyed. So she was thinking how little one, for just a short time, the whole life changes. So either you are saved or you get destroyed completely in life. So life has twists and turns. We never know what can happen next. On Sunday, as she was walking in the Champs-Élysées, suddenly she saw Madame Fraste, still young, still beautiful, still charming. So, as she was walking one Sunday near the Champs-Élysées, so she found, she saw Madame Forestier. Remember, that was her friend whom she had borrowed the necklace. And she looked at her and still she found her so beautiful. Whereas Madame Loisel had become old and she looked very, very, did not look so beautiful as what she used to look before. Madame Loisel felt emotional. So, looking at her friend, all her emotions came back. She started thinking about all the past events. Should she speak to her? So now she was thinking, should I go and approach and talk to her? Then she thought, yes, of course, I should. And now that she had paid, she would tell her all. Why not? So now she did not feel guilty. Now she had paid all the loan also back. So that means she had repaid everything. So now she did not have that guilt in her mind. And she said, yes, now I should tell her everything. Why not? I should. So she went up to her. Good morning, Jean. The other, astonished to be addressed so familiarly by this common woman, did not recognize her. So remember that now Madame Loisel is to dress very, very like a common person. So she did not, and she had become old also. She did not have the charm as before. So her friend Jean, who, the voice sound familiar, but the face, she could not recognize her. She stammered, but, madame, I don't know. You must have made a mistake. So she says, no, no, madam, I don't know you. You must have made a mistake. Do we know each other? I don't know you. No, I am Matilde Luzelle. So she says, I am your friend. Don't you remember me? Look at me carefully. I'm your friend. Her friend uttered a cry. Oh, my poor Matilde, how you have changed. So now she recognized her and she said, Oh, my poor little friend, how you have changed. Yes, I have had some hard times since I lost last saw you. So she's saying, yes, yes, I have gone through some difficult times. Hard times means difficult times. And uh, since the last time we met, remember they had met 10 years ago. So he's saying I had to go through some difficult times and have seen and many miseries, many worries, and that was all because of you. So she says, because of you I had to face all these things. So the friend is surprised and she's saying, me, how can that be? Because her friend was unaware, she did not know anything about the lost necklace, remember. So your now Matilde is, trying to tell her everything. So she tells her, you remember that diamond necklace that you lent me to wear to the ministry party? So she says, yes, well. So that's a question mark there. So, well means, what about that? You returned it, isn't it? So that is what she means. So Matilde says, well, I lost it. Now, still, her friend couldn't understand. She says, what do you mean? You brought it back. So you have given it back to me. You have not lost it. So her friend cannot understand anything because she was unaware of it. No? So she says, no, you have given it back to me. You brought it back, remember? So here Metal is telling her the full story and she says, I brought you back another exactly like it, and it has taken us 10 years to pay for it. So she told her everything that, I did not give you the exact one, but I gave you similar like it, and it has taken us 10 years to repay it. And it wasn't easy for us. We had very little. So because we had very little at that time, no little money, so it was not easy for us to replace it and repay it. But at last it is over, and I am very glad. So I am very, very happy that I have repaid everything. Madame Froste was stunned. Stunned means she was shocked. You say that you bought a diamond necklace to replace mine. So saying you bought one, you paid for a diamond necklace to give it back to me to replace mine, to put back what you had lost. Yes, you didn't notice it then. So your even Matilde was surprised, saying you did not notice. They were very similar. So she's saying, yeah, I know why you did not notice, because they were very, very similar. It was the similar kind to one that you had given it to me and I had lost it. And she smiled with proud and innocent pleasure. So, by saying this, she said, yes, I replaced it and now I have repaid everything, and I don't have any more loan or any guilt on my head now. And so, therefore, she smiled with very, very proudly. Madame Froste, deeply moved, took both her hands. So she took Matilde's hands in hers, and she says, oh, my poor Matilde, mine was an imitation. It was worth 500 francs at most. So she's saying, oh, my poor little friend, mine was just an imitation. It was not real. It was just a copy of something. Okay, it was not real diamonds. They were artificial diamonds. Okay, and she said it was only worth, the value of it was only 500 francs at the most, not more than that. And you spent 10 years of your life replacing a diamond necklace. So, isn't it a very, very sad story that they did not know anything, and it was all because of Matilda's, trying to impress others, trying to, live beyond her means. So, whenever we should try to live, we should be happy with what we have. We should live within our means whatever we can afford, we should be happy with it. So, this is a very beautiful message that this lesson gives us. I hope you all enjoyed me teaching this lesson to your children. So, if you have enjoyed it, please do like, share, and subscribe for more such videos. To check your answers to the English workshop as well as the other questions that are given within the lesson, you can visit our website at www.jkacademypro.com. You'll get the link in the description box below. Do remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.